Welcome back. In this video, we will learn about error handling in Python. Whenever we write the code, there is a possibility that we might encounter some errors, like unexpected input or some files might be missing if you're working on files, or we might just make mistakes. So error handling is how we gracefully deal with these situations so our program don't get crashed. The core of error handling in Python is try and except block. Think of it like a safety net. So we will take an example of how to handle the errors and when in what scenarios we get the errors that we may want to handle gracefully. So let's say we are working on dividing two numbers, right? So what we usually do is, let's say we have a number like 10 divided by 2, right? So this is a valid mathematical expression, and let's store it inside the result variable. So if you print this result and run it, let me run it, Python 3, learn Python, and you see we got 5, right? Now what if this number here is 0? Make it 0. And now if you try to run and you see 0 division error, so it is saying division by 0. So in this case we are trying to actually divide 10 by 0, which is mathematically impossible, right? So this will raise a 0 division error. Now in order to handle this kind of error, we have to always use try and except block. Okay, now why should we handle the error? See, in real life projects we cannot keep the code that is crashing, okay, because if this line is crashing, then the next line will not run. Okay, this test will not run because at line number 657 the code is crashing. Then whatever code that you write after the code that has been crashed, then it will not run. Okay, if you want to try that, you can try it. Okay, so at line number 657 the code has been crashed, and then nothing is been printing after the line number 657. Okay, so that's why, so we need to handle such errors gracefully. Okay, so what we do is we should use try like this. When you use try, you always have to use except. Okay, so this is try block. So whatever the code or whatever the logic that you write will go here inside the try block. Okay, so I will say result is equal to 10 by 0. Okay, 10 divided by 0. Okay, so however this code is going to crash. Okay, now we don't want to get the error because we want the program to be running. Okay, so that's why, so we will write except. Okay, so except what? 0 division error. So how do I know 0 division errors? It's just by practice, and also looking at such code, you will you will understand this code is likely going to give this 0 division error. Okay, so in the except block we want to print something, so we may say oops, you cannot divide a number by 0. Okay, divide a number by 0, and after this we will just imagine we may have some other code running. Let's say program continues. Even if we get the error here, the program will continue. Okay, so let's save it and let's run it again, and you can see we got the error here. Oops, you cannot divide a number by 0. Okay, so that's because here it is actually getting the error. Now the second line also got executed. Okay, now what if you what if you write 2 here? You can see we did not get this print statement because the code did not go inside the except block, because in the try block only the code was able to execute, right? So that's why the next line of this it has been printed. Now if you want to print it, print the result here, then also you can print it like that. Okay, so that was a very simple example, but what if we want to handle different types of errors differently, right? In this case we only handled one error, like 0 division error. So what if you want to handle the different types of error in a same try except block? So in this case, you can use multiple except blocks. Okay. So let me write it again. Okay. So you'll get the more, you'll get more practice. So let's put a try block. So in the try block, what I will do is, instead of taking this 2 or 0, as a static value, I will take it dynamically. So from the user. Okay. So I'll say user or user input is equal to int of input. So why I'm using int? Because I am actually converting the data type, okay, to int. So input of enter a number, okay. So after that, when the user enters a number, I will say result is equal to 10 divided by the user input. 10 divided by the user input. Okay, now there is two possibilities. One, what if the user enters a string instead of a number? Okay, so in that case, we are likely going to get the value error. Okay, because this one here is actually converting the number to a string. Okay, so what if he write ABC? Then ABC string cannot be converted to integer, right? So that's when you get the value error. So that is one case. And now what if the user enters 0 here? Okay, so then we are going to get the 0 division error, like this one. Okay, so in this case, we want to handle the two error, multiple errors separately. Okay, so I will say I'll say value error, except value error. I'll print something like that's not a number. Please enter a number. Okay, that's not a number. Please enter a valid number. Okay, so this is one way for handling the value error. And also I want to handle, even if the user enters a valid number, but that number is 0, then we also have to handle the 0 division error. So except 0 division error, maybe let's say print can't divide by 0. Okay, can't divide by 0. Okay, now let's try to run this code. Okay, so if the if both of these lines executes properly, let's print the value, I mean result. Okay, so let's run and enter a number. So I will enter a number 2. Okay, so now our code did not go to any of these except block, because the number actually is divisible. Okay, so now again we will write test or something. So test is a text, right? So now you see that's not a number. Please enter a valid number. Okay, so what if I don't handle this like this? If you comment this code, save it, run it again write test, and you see we got the value error, invalid literal for int with the base 10. So here here when the string is being converted to int, we cannot write like this. We cannot write the text. Okay, so that's how you handle the value error. Let me uncomment it. Now let's let me clear it. And now the enter a number, let's put 0. Now you see can't divide by 0. Okay, can't divide by 0 because the number is 0, right? So this is how you handle the errors gracefully. Okay, there's one more thing called else block inside a try and except. Okay, so the code inside the else block will only run if no exceptions occur in the try block. Okay, if there is no exception occur here inside the try block, you can add one else block here. So you can you can write some logic there. Okay, so that logic which is inside the else block will execute only if the try block does not encounter any errors. Okay, if it encounters the errors, then it will go to except block. If it does not encounter the error and it successfully gets executed in the try block, then the else block will execute. Okay, so let's try one example. I will comment it and say try. I'll take user age. Okay, so I'll typecast it, input of enter your age. Okay, enter your age. All right, now in the except block, okay, in the except block, there's a chance that instead of the number age, user may enter some string, right? So that's why I'm handling this value error, invalid age, please enter a number. Okay, invalid age, please enter a number. Now what if the user actually enters the correct number? Then we can write a else block. In this else block we can use the logic. Okay, so if age is greater than or equal to 18, then you can print something like you are an adult. Okay, you are an adult. So else we can print you are a minor. Okay, you are a minor. All right, so let's run it again. Enter your age, let's add 20. Okay, now you see you are an adult. Why this code inside the else is running? Because your code did not encounter any error. Okay, so that's why this one is running. And if you try again and say instead of the age, if you write name, then you see invalid age, please enter a name. And see this block of code is not being executed. Okay, so that's how you can use else block with the try and except.